The German team will be satisfied with today?
We don't have like a fixed goal. We want to be in the top nations as always, and let's see how far in the front this is.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Welcome to FIS TV's presentation of the Coupe Cross Country World Cup from the stunning Engadin Valley. I'm Andrew Kastning, with you for 3 days of ski racing in the sunny Switzerland, beginning with the 4x5 kilometer mixed relay, set to begin in just a few minutes. And there it is, the opening scenes from Engadin. We got a 3-day race weekend on tap for you today, folks, beginning with the men's and women's 4x5 kilometer mixed relay. Will be 2 men, 2 women on each team, going each 5 kilometers before they tag off to their teammate. Fun fact for you U.S. fans out there, the first time this event was ever contested was in 2022, and Team USA took that win. That team was championed by Rosie Brennan, Zach Ketterson, Scott Patterson,
Remy,
and Jesse Diggins.
Out for Canada too today. What is the Canadians' plan today?
I mean, I think just try and hold on and go as hard as we can. I mean, this is a course where I know people are going to take it out hot. It's going to be really hard right from the gun. So I think conserve as much energy as possible for the second lap and try and have my team in a good position.
As you say, it's a fast course. Does that suit you quite well, or?
I like it when there's some bigger hills, but you know, it's fun and it's a good opportunity to work on my speed and my powerful double pole. So I'm excited for it.
It's a mixed relay. We don't have so often in the World Cup. What do you think about this format?
Oh, I think it's super exciting, and it also gives an opportunity for the smaller nations to shine, because maybe some of the smaller nations don't have as much depth. So, you know, today we're really looking forward to being able to try and compete with some of the, you know, stronger nations out there.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Well, that was the former Harvard skier, Remy Jolet, now skiing with his home nation, Team Canada. And as I mentioned, the very first time we've ever contested a mixed relay was back in 2022, and Team USA did take that win. Since then, it's been all Sweden, though. as we see the Swedish athletes warming up. Sweden's won the last 2 mixed relays. We usually do about 1 mixed relay event a year, and we are excited to bring that action to you today. Last year's Swedish winning team was William Porema, Frida Karlsson, Jens Berman, Len Svan. But that today will rest on Jens Berman's going to open it up again for Sweden Team 1. Emma Ribom, Edvin Anger, and Moa Ilar will be on the top Swedish team. But don't sleep on Norway. Paul Goldberg, Nora Sanas, Ivar Tildheim Andersen, and Kristen Fosnes are going to be in bib 1. They are likely your favorites. Paul Goldberg is 10 years the senior. Born in 1990, he's 10 years older than the rest of his teammates. Nora, Ivar, and Kristen all born in the year 2000. Most of the nations have 2 teams, 2 relay teams on the start line today. For Team USA, they will be in bib 5. And Team USA number 1 is Xanon McMullen, Julia Kern, Ben Ogden, and Sophia Laukley. It is a beautiful day. A little bit windy. They had a finish line archway that blew over, presenting our sponsor Coop. I believe they took that down. We saw some kite skiers out in the field. If you're familiar with the Engadin ski marathon, this is the valley it takes place in. Here's a look at today's course. Each leg we're going to do 2 laps of a 2.5K. Really just 2 climbs in it. One punchy one at the beginning, a nice long one in the middle. We are out in a giant flat valley surrounded by huge mountains. The waters here flow to the Black Sea. And that is a look at your course. So as I said, each leg will go 2 laps. It's a 2.5K loop before they tag off or head to the finish.
It's a mixed relay today. Can you take us through the course?
Yeah, this course is a really exciting one, and it's the same course for the classic and for the skate, and each athlete will do it twice. It's 2.5 kilometers, so they will have a 5K, and I think we have 2 uphills that are really hard, and if you are a good skier, you can gain some seconds and give a good start for the next on your team. So yeah, I hope it will be really fun to watch, and it's some critical points. You have a turn right before you come to the stadium, and I think yeah, you have to be a little careful, but it will be fun to watch.
Is it a course where it's easy to get some gap too?
I'm not sure about that, because the speed today it's high. It's really good conditions, and I think you have to be really strong to make this gap today.
Thank you so much, Ella.
Thank you.
So there you heard it from the assistant technical delegate. Each leg will do the same course. They're going to divide the track into halves with 2 classic tracks on one half and the skate lanes on the other. Some of the other teams to watch out for in bib 3 is Team Finland, Ivo Niskanen, Jasmine Joensuu, Remy Lindholm, and Vilma Ritti. They are certainly going to be a favorite for the podium. Germany's top team, and they only have 1 today, Lukas Bogel, Catherine Sauerbrey, Jan Stolben, and Anna Maria Dietze. As I mentioned, Team USA 1 will be in bib 5, Xanon McMullen, Julia Kern, Ben Ogden, Sophia Laukley. The Italian team will be in bib 6, Martino Carollo, Martina Decenta, Paolo Ventura, and Maria Gismondi. Top Swiss team is in bib 7, that's Jonas Baumann, Anna Weber, Jason Reusch, and Nadine Feindrich. The Austrian team will be led off by Mika Vermeulen, Teresa Stadlober, Benjamin Moser, and Katarina Bruderman. They will be in bib 8. Remy Drolet, who we saw as the opening interview, is on Canada Team 2. On Canada Team 1 is Antoine Cyr, Catherine Stewart-Jones, Olivier Lavelle, and Liliane Ganot. The second U.S. team will be led off by Luke Jaeger, followed by Kendall Kramer, J.C. Schoonmaker, and Samantha Smith. And as I mentioned, that second Canadian team will be led off with Remy Drolet, followed by Allison Mackey, Thomas Steven, Sonia Schmidt. And there is Jonas Baumann for Team Switzerland, the hometown favorites. Men are going to lead off. They will tag to a woman, then a man, and then the anchor will be skied by a woman. We are in a nice high-pressure system here in the Engadin Valley, so the sun is having its effect on the snowpack. In the later afternoon particularly, could be tricky for some kick waxing, but fast conditions. If they have the grip, they can fly on the downhills. They'll be in good shape. And there's the gun, and we are off. The Coupe FIS World Cup 4x5 kilometer mixed relay is underway with the classic leg, and it is just 5K, so you can see already the pace is furious as the group comes together and tries to funnel their way into just 2 tracks. Looks like we had a little bit of broken equipment, but all sticks are now back in possession and the skiers are underway, heading towards that first punchy climb. Looks like it was the Austrian team, that is Mika Vermeulen in bib 8, needing to get some fresh carbon fiber. So here's that first punchy climb. You can see the 13,000 foot mountains looking down on today's race. Probably familiar with the village of St. Moritz. St. Moritz lies in the Engadin Valley, home to the 1928 and 1948 Olympics. And there's a huge relay, or excuse me, not relay, a marathon race that's very popular that goes down the Engadin Valley. Mostly flat, is my understanding, for that marathon race. But very, very famous. It's part of the Visma Ski Classics sometimes. Lots of people come and do it. I understand if you want to be a contending woman in that race, you need to have a gentleman that sort of escorts you along that course. It's so crowded that you need somebody to bark and yell and kind of pull you through, so all the top women actually get a guide of sorts for that marathon race to help them plow through the crowd and make their way to the finish. This will be the only time we see classic racing this weekend. First 2 legs are classic, second 2 legs are skating, and then the rest of the weekend will be all in skating. There's a skate sprint tomorrow, and followed by a 20-kilometer mass start skate on Sunday. So a lot of action coming your way from the weekend of Engadin in Switzerland. Coming off last week's exciting races in Les Rousses, France. The crowds there were awesome. Chainsaws and very Tour de France-like vibe in Les Rousses. It was also during the Norwegian National Championships, so some of the A-list celebrities weren't at those races, allowing some of our other athletes to shine. Got to see Ben Ogden take a 3rd place. William Poromaa took a win from Sweden. A lot of the big players are back, though, and Norway leading off with Paul Goldberg, who was recently named to the Norwegian team for the Trondheim National or World Championships coming up at the end of February. It looks like the pace has slowed to a controlling margin now at this point. Paul Goldberg out in front. Looks like Ivo Niskanen from Team Finland right there with him on his right. I can see Xander McMullen for Team USA right up in front, right where he needs to be. There's a good shot of Luke Jager. And we saw a quick look at the Australian team. Hugo Hinkfuss of the Colorado University Buffaloes leading off for Team Australia. Hugo will be tagging off to Tuva Bygrave, followed by Sevi DeCampo, and ultimately Rosie Fordham. 3 of those 4 skiers, all but Sevi DeCampo, are current or former U.S. NCAA skiers. I believe that is the tricky turn that the assistant TD was discussing in her opening remarks on the course. Thought we might see a few opening leg or second leg skiers only double pole. Perhaps there is a technique zone, but it looks like all of these athletes are using kick wax today. So athletes through the first 1.5 kilometers, and most teams, well, all teams are within 10 seconds of each other. The Kazakhs are 9.5 seconds back. Took them just over 4 minutes to get there. Norway leading with 1.2 second lead over Finland, Sweden, Austria, and the Czech Republic. Really, it's the job of the first leg skier to maintain contact with the front of the race. You want to hand off to the second leg skier within a group. I don't expect we'll see any strong attacks in this first leg, though you never know. Paul Goldberg looking like he's going to be in charge up at front, at least in the early going. But really, as a scramble leg skier, you just want to stay out of trouble. You want to be within contact of the front, ideally, and give your teammate, as you tag off, a nice chance to get into a group and work, not have to try and catch up or find themselves in between skiers working on their own. Interesting to see Lucas Bogo of Germany, the German team already a little ways back. You can see in the bottom of your screen, lap 1 of 8 is now complete. They are at 2.5K, and it looks like Ivo Niskanen and Paul Goldberg on a bit of a breakaway. Big, strong, reaching double pole from the Norwegian and the Finn. Niskanen in the midst of a great season. He's 32 years old. He's got over 150 World Cup starts. He has a second place finish in the 20K Classic in Davos, as well as the 20K Classic last weekend in Les Rousses, France. He opened the season with a win in the 10K Classic. This competition there from Norway, Paul Goldberg, as I mentioned, has made the Trondheim Norwegian World Championship team. That is something extremely difficult to do if you're a Norwegian skier. Getting to represent Norway at the World Championships on Norwegian snow is going to be a huge. Look at Antoine Tony Cyr with a big move at the front. He's matching the pace of the Finn and the Norwegian. Canadians looking very good in the early going. There is a chase group with 2 Swiss teams. Bib 6 there, that is Martino Carola of the Italian team. So now it's a 3-skier race at the front. Tony Cyr able to make nice contact with Paul Goldberg. It was a great move up that hill to get him onto the front 2 skiers. Setting up nicely for Catherine Stewart-Jones if he can hang on to that position. So you can see those 3 skiers kind of on their own, chasing that front group we see now. That's the danger zone you don't want to be in. If you want to go for the podium win, you need to be right where Antoine Cyr is. think this event is growing in popularity, and I think every year we have it, the athletes are going to take it a little more seriously, put a little more weight into it. You know the Swedes would like to repeat. Right now they are not inside the top 3. They're going to have to do some comeback skiing to make that happen. And you know the Norwegians never like to see the Swedes at the top of the podium, particularly in a relay. So they are going to do their best to put a stop to their win streak. It does look like the Swedish team, Jens Berman, able to do some strong classical striding to get back onto Antoine Cyr. Nice panning shot there of this second big climb. A little bit of race tactics happening at the top of that hill. You wouldn't expect to see that in a short lap as such as a 5K. But it looked like Paul Goldberg looking over his shoulder. I don't know if he was barking at the Canadian for skiing over the tails of his skis or not, or if he was just looking for somebody else to take the lead. Either way, Ivo Niskanen still out front, and now we have a group of 5 that's come back together at the front. So both Swedish teams not ready to let go of that winning streak. There we see bib 10. That is the Czech team. Michael Novak from the Czech Republic, 2-time Czech national champion. Chasing down all the way in bib 19. That's Cero Feindrich. So Swiss team number 2 looking like Swiss team number 1. And here is a look at the chase group. There is the second Norwegian team, led off by Martin Mork. Looks like Luke Jager is just ahead of Xander McMullen. So Luke Jager, leadoff skier for USA Team 2, having a good race. Luke is fresh over to Europe. He did race last weekend in Les Rousses, had a great race, getting 21st in the, I believe it was the 20K Classic. That is coming off a solid performance at the U.S. National Championships in Anchorage, Alaska. He did get a national title in the Classic Sprint. There was a Norwegian, Andreas Kirkgang, skiing for the University of Colorado, that beat Luke Jager, but Andreas not able to win the national title as a Norwegian skier, so that went to Luke Jager. Now he finds himself in Europe, quite possibly preparing for a tour through the rest of the World Cup in Europe on to Trondheim World Championships. Beautiful look at the Engadin Valley here. It's the afternoon sunshine shining down on the castles dotting the valley. I mentioned the water here runs into the Danube River, which ultimately goes to the Black Sea. We are on the eastern side of Switzerland, very near the Italian border. We saw a little bit more of an effort there from Ivo Niskanen and Paul Goldberg. Niskanen's going to be tagging off to Yasmi Joensuu, who's in the midst of a fantastic sprinting season, best of her career. Yasmi Joensuu is ranked first in the World Cup sprinting standings. She had her first podium this year, coming in second behind Jessie Diggins in toe block. So now the women will get a turn. Most of the men's leg lap one is done. There we see Kendall Kramer raising her arm, taking the tag from Luke Jaeger. One Alaskan tagging to the other. Kendall Kramer's going to have some work to do, trying to catch on to that group of 5 up front. There is Xana McMullen tagging to Julia Kern. With any luck, Julia Kern could catch Kendall, and maybe they could work together and try and reel in the front of the group. There's an over-the-shoulder look of some of those U.S. team coaches. Sizing up the spare poles. Hopefully none are needed. Here's that first punchy climb. Yasmin Joensuu looks over her shoulder. She's in the herringbone. Probably has about 5 meters on. Nora Sandnes of Team Norway. I mentioned Paul Goldberg, born in 1990. 10 years the elder to the rest of his team. Nora Sandnes, born in 2000. It's a hand-to-body tag in ski racing. Can't do pole-to-pole or kick them with your ski and expect that to fly with the technical delegates. You need some sort of hand-to-shoulder to make that exchange. There is no baton. Nice coming together of the chase group there. You can see them pushing on each other's poles through that downhill. Keep the momentum up. It's going to be real hard for Yasmin Joensuu to maintain that lead. Adrenaline always helps, but skiing alone when you have a strong pack of 4 behind you makes you nervous, makes you want to look over your shoulder and see how far back they are. We'll have to watch. So far I've only seen Yasmin Joensuu in a double pole. Not seen her kick down on her ski in case she had kick wax. Good to see Team Canada up there, sitting in 5th. Antoine Cyr tagged off to Catherine Stewart-Jones, so that is KSJ there on the back of that chase group. Emma Rebohm from Team Sweden quickly asserts herself at the front of that chase group, pulling Nora Sandnes. And skiing way above their bib ranking in bib 19, that is Nadja Kalin for Team Switzerland in 3rd. There are 2 Kalin sisters on that Swiss team number 2, so that's exciting for the parents there, Nadja and Marina Kaling. Good skiing there from the Austrian Therese Stadlober. Tagged off from Mika Vermeulen. Looks like several of the teams today elected to put their top skiers at the front, trying to keep their team in the front group as long as possible. I noticed several of them put their youngest and most inexperienced skier in the anchor leg. So the chase group has done their work. They have caught on to Yasmin Joensuu. Now Emma Rebohm has a little chance to relax a bit, perhaps. Try and build some energy back up for her second lap. It's really interesting how these relays unfold. Each leg obviously so important. And you can have a really strong team, but if your first leg is just a little bit off that day and doesn't find themselves in the front group of 5, it can be really hard for the remaining team members to get back on that group and reassert themselves as a competitive ski team. So you always get some surprises. I wouldn't have suspected we'd see Nadja Kalin in this front group, nor would I necessarily think that the Canadian team would be right in the hunt for a podium, but Antoine Cyr skiing in a fantastic first leg, and that always ups the energy and adrenaline level for the rest of your team. Catherine Stewart-Jones now finding her recipient of that hard effort from Antoine Cyr, and gives her an opportunity to do some great things on today's ski track. See the shadows now starting to creep across the Engadin Valley. Mostly see sun this weekend. Might have a snowstorm roll through Saturday night before the 20-kilometer mass start skate. You can see the leading group has about 10 seconds on Swiss Team 1. So there is Nadine Feindrich. Of the two Swiss teams that are on the track today, we would have expected Nadine to be in the front. I mentioned Yasmin Yonsu having a great year at sprinting. Really good at classic sprinting as well. So 5K should be within her wheelhouse. Looks like her and Emma Rebohm putting in some hard work to get off the front. Yasmin wants to let Emma do some of the work, so she's going to step aside and tuck into the tracks behind. And look at the skiing from Theresa Stadlober. She's having a fast leg. She has caught this chase group and passing the Canadian Catherine Stewart-Jones. So the first lap's down now for these second leg skiers. They are on their way to the second go around. Emma Rebohm stepping aside to let Yasmin Yonsu have a turn. Classic skiing with the group's always extra challenging because the skier behind you can clack your tails, get on your tails, kind of be annoying sometimes, cause some problems to the skier in the front. So you have to see the front skier stepping over to the other track, say, hey, don't do that. You take the lead if you're going to ski on my tails. There's our front group. Emma Rebohm pushing the pace up there. Great to see the Swiss youths out supporting their athletes today. What a way to get out of school and go watch some World Cup racing. Theresa Stadlober's moved her way all the way past that chase group up into third position. So a Herculean effort from the Austrian. Looking very good in Classic this morning. Stadlober with some excellent tempo, looking to pull the Norwegian Nora Sanas with her. Did look like Yonsu and Rebohm put in a surge just before the lap lane and got that gap. At the 6.5K mark, Canada was just 2.3 seconds back of Finland. And Theresa Stadlober was all the way 14 seconds back of Finland at 6.5K. So that shows you just exactly how fast Theresa Stadlober is skiing. Does look like these two Scandinavian skiers are doing a good job taking turns at the front. You don't often see Scandinavians working together, but I would describe what they're doing here as just that. Taking turns at the lead, pushing each other, providing a draft. And when you slow down, you step over and let the other one take the front. You can tell from the hillsides that Central Europe and the Alps are having a great winter this year. Really nice for the course organizers to be able to use the preferred courses, not have to worry about low snow or artificial snow depths. The Stadlober doing her best to reel in Ribom and Joensuu. She's pulling along Nora Sanes, the Norwegian, with her. Wouldn't it be something if Norway finds themselves off the podium? Nora's going to tag off to Ivar Tiltheim Andersen, which if you've been reading the Norwegian tabloids, you'd know that he currently is not on that Trondheim World Championship team, despite winning. Well, now he's won 2 World Cups, both 10-kilometer freestyles. First one coming in 2022, and then he won again in Les Russes, both times the 10K freestyle. So if there's anybody that's going to have a chip on their shoulder and something to prove, it will be Ivar Tiltheim Andersen. A little bit angsty probably not being on that Norwegian World Championship team. Yasmi Joensuu will be tagging off to the 2-time Finnish national champion Remi Lindholm. Emma Ribom will be tagging off to Edvin Anger, who is currently sitting 3rd in the overall World Cup, having an excellent season, 4th in sprinting, a little bit more of a sprinter. Showed that last weekend in Les Russes, but surprising to see a Swedish man that high up on the ranking list. Edvin Anger putting an excellent season together, having a great one, finding himself in 3rd and about to be tagged off with the lead. So you can see Stadlober now 11 seconds off the front, so she's gotten about 3 seconds back on Joensuu and Ribom. Put some time on Nora Sanes too, so great race from the Austrian. Here you see Nadia Kalin, the second Swiss team, in 5th, just ahead of the Canadian Catherine Stewart-Jones. Just a few more meters to go on the second leg. You can see the athletes struggling a little bit getting into those tracks coming off that downhill. I think that is the decisive hard right-hand turn that could come into play if tactics are needed in the final leg. You can see Norway just leading time, starting at 6.5K. They were right there with the group, now finding themselves upwards of 17 seconds back. We will get some updated times at the next exchange, 10-kilometer point of this 20-kilometer event, 4x5 kilometer relay. Thanks for joining me on this Friday morning for FIS TV. I'm Andrew Kastning. It's good to be here with you. Going to be here with you all weekend long, bringing you the action from the Engadin Valley. And look at the surge from Yasmi Joensuu. It's a good move by her. Make the Swedes have to do the work to catch back up. Yasmi Joensuu getting ready to tag off, and what a great leg she threw down. Particularly in the last 200 meters, she put on about 20 meters on Emma Rebohm. So here is the second exchange, and now we are switching to the freestyle skating technique. There goes Edvin Anger and Teresa Stadlober with an excellent race. Coming all the way back from 14 down, now finds her 8 seconds off that lead group. Stadlober hands it over now to Benjamin Moser, 27-year-old Austrian national champion. And there is Norway sitting in fourth with some work to do. 23 seconds back. Ivar Tildheim Andersen has his work cut out for him. And there is Swiss Team 2. Nadja Kalin handing it over to Valerio Grond, who has a World Cup podium this year in the Davos team sprint. Now we see the field starting to spread out a little bit. Finland with 4-second lead over Sweden. Austria 8 seconds back. Norway 23 seconds back. That second Swiss team sitting in fifth, 36 seconds back. Canada 1 in sixth. Czech Republic 7th. Switzerland 8th. Norway 2 in 9th. Sweden 2 10th. Italy in 11th. Canada 2 12th. Germany 13th. And the United States sitting in 14th. Minute 24 off halfway through the race. So as you see, the skate skiers get to go right alongside the classic tracks, utilizing the same course. And with Remy Lindholm and Edvin Anger working together, it's going to be real tough for Benjamin Moser to make that gap up. No doubt he should be inspired by Teresa Stadlober's performance. Oftentimes, you see skiers rising to the occasion of a relay, knowing that your performance and their performance rests on each other to have a good day. Edvin Anger, just 22 years of age, leading the standings for the U23, under 23-year-old skiers in this year's World Cup. I mentioned third in the overall standings. Most of Edvin's best sprinting results have come in classic. Obviously able to skate quite well too, with the Swedish coaches electing to put him into that third position. Benjamin Moser better not look over his shoulder, because here comes Ivar Tildheim Andersen, looking very, very quick up that hill in the V2 skate. As the crowds build, things are getting exciting here. There is it. Swiss team number 2. That is Valerio Grond. Edvin Anger putting the screws to Remy Lindholm. Lindholm, 26 years of age. Mentioned he has won the Finnish National Championship 2 times. It's a tall task to hang on to Edvin Anger this year. Swedish men for quite a few years now have been getting a lot of flack in the press and from the Swedish ski fans for needing to step it up on the world circuit. It's been quite a time since we've had a dominating force of Swedish men, force of Swedish women skiing very well, and have so for the same time period that the men have been struggling. But here we have Edvin Anger turning the page on that period of history, looking very good in period 2 of World Cup racing, looking very good here on this third leg. 1 lap down for him, 1 to go, and he's probably put 15-20 meters on the Finnish skier Remi Lindholm. So Lindholm finds him 3 seconds back, and Edvin Anger would be wise to just keep that gas pedal pressed. Keep the hammer down. Nice big V2 and open up that gap as much as possible so that when he tags off to Moa Ilar, she has plenty of room and time to ski her way to a victory. Ivar Anderson now 21 seconds back. So he has made up 2 seconds on Edvin Anger. Which is some, but maybe not enough to take a stab for the win. Here we see Andreas Fjorden Rie, Norway Team 2, clicks through. Going into this, I might have thought Norway 1 and 2 would both be in the top 5. But alas, they are sitting back in 9th. It does look like Remi Lindholm is continuing to bleed meters off to Edvin Anger. Edvin Anger finds himself the lone skier in the shot now. There is Valerio Grand. Really more of a sprinter. He's going to have to go 5K today. I mentioned he got I believe they got 3rd in the Davos team sprint, the men did. He will no doubt be one of the favorites to represent Switzerland at the World Champs on that team sprint event coming up first week of March. It's a nice surge from Remi Lindholm, doing his best. He's going to have to hold off Ivar Tildheim Andersen. He's doing a nice job pulling along the Austrian Benjamin Moser. I'm going to suspect that Ivar is going to eat up Remi Lindholm for lunch, and by the time they tag off, we could have a 3-way skiers race for 2nd place. Edvin Anger looking very good at the front, able to V2 all the way up this climb. Excellent glide, even on the uphills. That shows you why that lead is growing. And there you have it, Remi Lindholm skiing scared. He looks over his shoulder. Ivar Tildheim Andersen has made contact. He's not going to even spend any time staying in the Finnish skiers draft. Around him he goes, bringing the Austrian with him. At 12.5K, Norway was 21 seconds back of Sweden. We will keep an eye on those times as they approach 15 kilometers and the 3rd quarter pole of this race. With any luck for the Finnish team, Remi Lindholm will be able to latch onto the tails of Andersen and Mosier. Try and give the third skier for Finland a chance. That would be, or fourth skier, Vilma Ritti, anchoring Team Finland. She's a young one. She's what I was mentioning, being the youngest skier in the fourth position. Vilma Ritti, just 23 years old and only 18 World Cup starts. Ivar Andersen tagging off to Kristen Fosnes, who's having the best season of her career. Really seen the Norwegian buoyed by the return of Teresa Johaug. And what a gift for a young skier like Kristen Fosnes or Nora Senes to have that kind of veteran leadership. It was for a few years now that the Norwegian women's team have struggled as a group to be competitive, particularly as the Swedish women's team was a rising tide and getting so strong. But that has changed this year. Norway is back on the women's side. They are leading the Nations Cup by a pretty wide margin in both the men and women at this point. Really strong skiing from the German there. That was Jan Stolben, looking good. 23-year-old German trying to make his way back towards the front. There you hear the silent swishing of Edvin Anger, all alone off in the front, and you can see there putting time on Austria. Not sure what happened. There must have been some kind of fall, because now it was Benjamin Moser, the Austrian team, ahead of Ivar Tildheim Andersen. They all got spread out, and I think the cameras missed it. If they didn't, then I did. And now Team Austria finds a way in second. So there is the final exchange. On to the fourth leg. Edvin Anger tagging off to Moa Ilar with a sizable lead. Coming in now is Benjamin Moser tagging off to Katarina Brueggemann, again the youngest skier, 25 years old with just 9 World Cup starts. Katarina has a big task ahead of her to try and hold off Kristen Fosnes, who takes the tag from Ivar Tildheim Andersen. And here comes that Finnish team. Remi Lindholm tagging to Vilma Ritti. There you see Norway 26 seconds behind Sweden, which is a good improvement from the 10K. Sweden continues to put time on the field. They were 23 seconds up on Norway at the 10K mark, and now they are 26 seconds up as we see more relay teams making their exchange for this final leg. There is Moa Ilar looking nice and in control. She has 16 seconds to work with at the exchange. 26 over Norway. Finland find themselves 36 seconds back at that last exchange. Switzerland 51 seconds back in 5th. Czech Republic in 6th. Norway 2 in 7th. Swiss 1 in 8th. Canada 1 in 9th. 1 minute back. Sweden 2 in 10th. Germany 11th. Italy 12th. And the Kazakhs have been lapped. So they are out of today's race. Try and keep an eye on Team USA. There we go. Team USA crossing that final exchange. Just under 2 minutes behind the Swedes. You can hear the silent swishing of the skis, providing you a moment of zen in cross-country skiing. That's why so many of us do this sport, for that peace and that solace. You can even find it in a World Cup race. There's a nice look at the Austrian skier, Katharina Brudermann. And there is Kristen Fosnes, hot in pursuit of the Austrian. trying to bring that Norwegian team back into the second position. Right now it's all Moa Ilar at the front. Being that we're racing in a wide open field today, you can get a real good idea at all times just about where you are skiing, where the lead is, as you can see them across the way on each finger of the lap. There you see Bruderman switching over to the V1 one-side skate, and Kristen Fosnes keeping in that V2 a little bit longer. Now she's V1, but she is eating up that gap. She wants second place bad. She is going to reel in that Austrian here in the next 20 to 30 meters would be my guess, coming over the top. Kristen Fosnes with all the momentum. Here we are back at the front now. Moa Ilar looking pretty relaxed, I have to say, despite being in the lead of a World Cup relay. So far, no issues for her. Would love to know what happened at the end of that third leg where Ivar Tildheim Andersen was pulling along Benjamin Moser of Austria, and the Remi Lindholm Finnish skier was right there with him, but then they all got split apart. The Austrian came in front. So I'm going to assume there was some kind of tangle between the Norwegian and the Finn skier, possibly around that sweeping right-hand corner. So here we get a time check, 16.8K. Moa Ilar in the lead. There we see Kristen Fosnes reeling in the Austrian. Still hasn't done it though yet. Stand-up job by Katarina Bruderman to hold off Norway. But here she comes. She's now made contact with second place. And without wasting any time, moves into second. So we have a change in the order at the podium. Norway overtaking Austria. There is Vilma Riddy. Don't look over your shoulder because there is a chase group of 4 hot on your tails. You can see the flags flying straight and even blowing themselves across the trail. It is a little windy out today as that last storm clears out and the new one comes in. So Katarina Bruderman getting a nice ride here from Kristen Fosnes. Kristen also named to that Trondheim World Championship team for Norway at just 25 years of age. She's having her best season. She was second in the Davos team sprint. Finds herself in the 12th position for the overall World Cup rankings. I suspect we'll be seeing her for years to come, working her way up that ranking list. It's all Moa Ilar, looking very smooth and in control at the front. Moa was 11th in the Les Russes 20K Classic. She is 15th in the overall World Cup in 2024. That's where she finished. And she got a win in the opening Ruka weekend, winning the 20-kilometer freestyle. So Moa Ilar having a good season as well. Here is a nice evening shot as the sun gets low to the horizon. We see Fosnes and Bruderman locked in a battle. I'm surprised, and I gotta give a hand to the Austrian skier for being able to stay on the tails of Kristen Fosnes. We may have a big challenge for 4th on our hands building here. 1 lap to go now. 2.5K to reach the 20-kilometer relay point. There is Calvo, Gaunot, and Marina Kalin all chasing down Nadine Fendrich, anchoring Swiss Team 1. So Sweden continues to build its lead. At the 15K mark, they had 16 seconds over Austria. Now they find themselves 30 seconds up. Norway and Austria coming through together. 30 seconds behind Moa Ilar. Finland sitting 50 seconds back and forth. Nadine Fendrich anchoring Swiss Team 1 in just under a minute behind. And right there with Norway 2 and Canada 1. Big group of skiers right there. Swiss 2 in that group. And then it's 25 seconds back from them to the Czech Republic team and Swedish team number 2. They find themselves about a minute and a half back. And not looking like a good day for the U.S. team, unfortunately. Not inside the top 10. And there is Katarina Bruderman getting dropped by Kristen Fosnes. So the move has been laid down. Fosnes taking sole control of second place and putting the screws to the Austrian skier. She is looking tired. No doubt having to hold off this group that's coming. She has the work cut out for her, as an exciting race may be unfolding for that third position. Can the Finnish skier reel in the Austrian? Can this group of 4 reel in the Finnish skier? The train may be coming back together for that third position as we enter the last kilometer of racing in the mixed relay. Actually, absolutely gorgeous sunset gracing the shoulders of these ski racers. It is set to be a beautiful weekend of racing in the Swiss Alps. Athletes staying right on the trail system, literally able to train and ski right outside their door. Most often in this valley, there is a ski trail somewhere nearby. I don't think Fosnes has enough real estate left to reel in that. Swedish skier Moa Ilar has enough of a gap. I don't think there's much of an opportunity for Kristen Fosnes to go for the win, but she finds herself solidly in second. And look at this race for third. It is a busy one. 3 teams now finding themselves fighting for that final step on the podium. And it does look like that is bib 17, Norway 2, has moved to the front. Anna Kirsti-Calvo wants to put Norway with 2 steps on the podium. She is now at the front, pulling along with her Nadine Fendrich. Fendrich, an excellent skate sprinter. She will be tough to beat in the last 50 to 100 meters. Anna Kirsti-Calvo, no slouch in sprinting either. There is a look at your Australian skier, Rosie Fordham. Nice look at her, former University of Alaska Fairbanks Nanook. Has had a few World Cup races this season. 700 meters to go now for the Swedish skier Moa Ilar on her way to a World Cup win. No one in sight. Excellent team effort from the Swedes today. Really lifted by Edvin Unger in that second leg position. That second leg so critical in relay racing. And here is the race for third. Anna Kirsti-Calvo currently holding that down. Nadine Fedrins just 1 second back though. Starting to analyze the turns that remain. What's the best line to the finish and how can you get around the Norwegian? Nadine Fedrins absolutely with the extra drive to try and get a podium finish in front of the home crowd. You see Norway won in the red bib, indicating they are at the top of the Nations Cup standings. Moa Ilar all alone through the fields of Switzerland on her way to a World Cup win in the mixed relay. But the fight for third is on. Nadine Fendrich slides up alongside Calvo and takes over third place position. The Finn skier right there with her. There's Canada on the chase. It's going to come down to the last downhill in the final few turns. Meanwhile, Moa Ilar cruising to victory. Big smile, gets handed the flag. What a joy it is to have enough time to be handed your nation's flag and wave it proudly as you enter the finish line. Moa Ilar, Team Sweden, on their way to victory. Jens Berman, Emma Reboom, Edvin Unger, Moa Ilar. You are today's winner. Here comes Kristin Fausnes, solidly in second. I can see two skiers on a breakaway behind her, probably Fendrich and Calvo. Who's going to take the third spot? The final podium position remains to be decided. Can it be Nadine Fendrich in front of the home crowd? She's got a ski length over the Norwegian. Nadine Fendrich on her way to third place. Puts on a show for the home crowd. What a race for Nadine Fendrich. That Swiss Team 1 came from way back. Much of the race, Swiss Team 2 was in front, but it's Swiss Team 1 that comes all the way back. Just edging Norway Team 2 for that final spot on the podium. That was an exciting race, and big hugs and congrats all around for the Swiss team. Jonas Baumann, Anna Weber, Jason Reusch, and Nadine Fendrich round out the podium. Paul Goldberg, Nora Sanas, Iver Tildheim Andersen, and Kristin Fausnes taking the second step on the podium. And your winner, Jens Berman, Emma Reboom, Edvin Unger, and Moa Ilar are today's winners. Big effort from Maya Dahlqvist. She's going to win this sprint to the finish over Canada Team 2 and the Czech Republic, finding themselves about a minute 45 off the mark of Sweden Team 1. Big hugs all around. Extra spirit and camaraderie on relay days. Love to see it. Nadine Fendrich. There is Emma Reboom. Skiing a solid second leg. There is Team USA 1 crossing the line. 2 minutes, 25 seconds off. USA 1 again with Xander McMullen, Julia Kern, Ben Ogden, and Sophia Laukley. I don't know of too many other sports that allow you to take a flag when you have enough of a lead to cross the finish, but it is a beautiful part of our sport. We love to see it. Huge fist to the air, raise that flag high. Sweden is proud tonight with that win. Anytime you beat Norway and your name is Sweden, it's a good day. Nice wave to the crowd from Kristin Fausnes. Anchoring Team Norway to second place. There you see the sun fully wrapping around the hillside, casting its shadow on the castle overlooking the start and finish.
geht zu deinen Kolleginnen und Kollegen feiern. Herzliche Gratulation, Anja Weber.
Ja, sie feiern da die Schweizer also gleich als Siegerehrung. Wir haben jetzt
So for Sweden, their win streak continues. 3 wins in a row now in the mixed relay. They show dominance in this event. Excellent event for them. We heard in some of the opening interviews that a lot of athletes like this because some of the smaller ski nations that maybe only have 2 top men and 2 top women can actually compete quite well in this event. More so than an all men's or women's relay. Giving the chance for teams like Switzerland to find a podium step.
Switzerland and Norway, 2 are the 2 fastest on the last leg, 10 seconds ahead of Canada 1. Canada 2 has actually the 4th best time, followed by Norway 1, Switzerland 2. And then the winning team of Sweden, 28 seconds.
Need to highlight Canada Team 1 in 6th position. They had a great race, 43 seconds off. Antoine Tony Boy Sear with an excellent opening leg, able to get on to the tails of Ivo Niskanen and Paul Goldberg. He tagged off to Catherine Stewart-Jones, who held the pace. Olivier Lavelle and Lillian Ganot coming back to take 6th place. Great job for them, just behind the 2nd Swiss team of Ciro Feindrich, Nadja Kalin, Valerio Grand, and Marina Kalin. There's your winning team there from Sweden.
Sweden, Norwegen, Schweiz after the podest. Sweden, Norway and Switzerland on the podium.
There is a look at the smiling faces of today's podium finishers. Edvin Unger and Moa Ilar were on the winning team in 2023. The Sweden won. That was led off by Kalle Halverson and anchored by Iona Sundling. Last year's winning Swedish mixed relay team was William Poroma, Frida Karlsson, Jens Berman, and Lynn Svan. So Jens Berman teaming up with Moa Ilar and Edvin Unger, along with Emma Riebaum, to take the win today. Swiss crowd letting them know they are proud of their Swiss athletes. That is going to help the Swiss team feel really good about the remainder of the weekend and what's to come.
Jens Berman, you got to start the mixed relay for Sweden today. How was this?
It was tough, but fun. It was full gas from the start, but I think I managed to keep in front, so I'm happy.
Emma, you were second there. How was it for you?
It was hard, but I love to ski 5K, so I had a good time out there.
It's not so often that we get to do a mixed relay, Edwin. How was it for you?
I can just agree. I love 5K and fun to race here in Engadin and ended up with a win. It's super fun.
And Moa, you get to end the ball here. How was that?
Amazing. The team did a super job before me, so I was really happy to get the big gap. So yeah, to grab the flag at the end was amazing.
Is that like a childhood dream?
Definitely.
Congratulations, Sweden.
Thank you.
Okay, super.
Absolutely a childhood dream to be able to grab your nation's flag and ski it across the line in first place. Moa Ilar doing just that. Here is a look at the past images of the Swedish team's victory. You heard Edvin Unger and Emma Rebohm expressing their love for the 5K. Both of them more of a sprinter type athlete and finding success in that short distance 5,000 meter race. So a great day for Sweden. Make it 3 wins in a row for the blue and gold. Here's a final look at the results. Sweden with a solid 20-second win over Norway. Norway with 23 seconds, 13 seconds over Switzerland. Norway 2, almost making it 2 Norwegians teams on the podium, but alas, Switzerland coming in front. Not a great day for the U.S., 14th and 16th respectively. No doubt, looking ahead to the rest of the weekend, should be a good weekend for Jessie Diggins if her foot is feeling good. She's been dealing with some plantar fasciitis, which affects classic skiing, but final 2 races of the weekend are both in skate, so that should give Jessie an opportunity to ski fast and have some fun.
Hey, congrats guys. Thank you for the trust.
And there is a look at the overall Nations Cup. You can see Norway with a commanding lead over Sweden. 3,124 points over Sweden. Finland in 3rd, Germany 4th, United States typically where they are, sitting there in 5th. I know it's a team coach's goal to try and get up into that 3rd position. They've got 500 points to find to catch Finland, but they're not far behind Germany. What a beautiful sunset on this Engadin Valley. You see lots of kite skiing, flying sports happening around St. Moritz. No doubt the next generation of Swiss skiers in the crowd, getting to leave school on a Friday and go watch a World Cup race is pretty special. We should have the podium ceremony in just a few minutes. We will honor our top 3 from today. Great cable shot of that Swiss sunset setting out over the Mediterranean Sea. They are very close to the Italian border and the Austrian border. My understanding there's several venues that could host a ski race in the Engadin Valley, all interconnected by that marathon race course. Athletes just spending some time getting their bibs back on over their warm coats. Crucial to get a dry shirt on after a hard race like that, particularly when you got 2 more races coming up this weekend. A lot of sickness going around after and during the Tour de Ski. Many athletes coming back from that.
FIS Langlauf-Weltcup Engadin 2025. Wir kommen zur Siegerehrung. Mixstaffel 4x5 Kilometer freie und klassische Technik. Und wir präsentieren euch jetzt die schnellsten 3 Teams. Wir beginnen mit Rang 3. Auf dem 3. Platz Jonas Baumann, Anja Weber, Jason Rüsch und Nadine Fedrich, Schweiz 1!
Big cheer from the crowd for the Swiss team.
Auf dem 2. Rang Paul Goldberg, Nora Sannes, Ivert Wildheim Andersen, Kirstin Augsbulen, Fosnes, Norwegen 1! Und die Siegermannschaft mit Jens Burmann, Emma Ribom, Edwin Anger, Moa Ilar, Schweden! Die Preise werden überreicht von Marco Canova für Le Gruyère AOP.
There's the Edwin Unger fan club. Here to see Edwin Unger with a killer second leg bring his team much closer to the win. Solid effort by all 4 skiers today. Jens Berman doing a great job to hang on to the classic skiing specialist of Ivo Niskanen, giving Edwin Unger the opportunity to create a lead and some space for Moa Ilar.
Ein feines Stück Käse ergänzt mit einer Original Engadiner Nusstorte.
Well, there's lots more racing to come this weekend from the Engadin Valley. I'm excited to be here with you for all the races. Tomorrow's a skate sprint. Sunday is a mass start 20-kilometer skate. Should be some great drama to unfold before our eyes here on FIS TV. And for FIS TV, I'm Andrew Casning. Thanks for watching, and you ski classy, Engadin.
Und da sind sie nochmal parat für den Applaus vom Publikum. Siegerinnen und Sieger aus Schweden, die 2 platzierten Norwegerinnen und Norweger. Und auf Rang 3 unsere Schweizer. Herzliche Gratulation! Ein wunderbaren Abschluss von dem ersten Wettkampftag im Rahmen vom Langlauf-Weltcup hier in Engadin. Schaut das herrliche Panorama, der herrliche Abend. Ein perfekter Auftakt mit dem heutigen Rennen mit Schweden, Norwegen und der Schweiz. Was ist das für ein Endspurt gewesen? Und vielleicht haben wir dann nachher noch Gelegenheit, gerade noch mit der Nadine Fedrich noch darüber zu reden, wie sie das erlebt hat, wo sie da wie eine Rakete führen tut. Ich kann euch schon mal erzählen, wie es morgen weitergeht. Morgen, Viertel vor 11 gibt es den Prolog im Sprint. Da geht es darum, dass sowohl bei den Herren als auch bei den Damen die schnellsten sich für das K.O.-Finale qualifizieren. Und dann am Nachmittag um Viertel ab 1 sind dann K.O.-Finals. Und am Sonntag ist ja dann nochmal etwas ganz Spezielles auf dem Programm. 20 Kilometer Massenstarterinnen für die Herren. Am Mittag um 12:30 und für die Damen am Nachmittag 3. Da lassen sich die Schweizerinnen und Schweizer natürlich feiern. Und Nadine Kunkra, vielleicht können wir sie gerade schnell schnappen. Nadine Fedrich, herzliche Gratulation. Super Auftakt aus Schweizer Sicht natürlich und eine super Schlussrunde von dir. Wie hast du das erlebt?
Ja, ist recht gut gegangen. Ich habe mich eigentlich lange gut gefühlt. Und hättest du höher wegen der Zielgerade gewesen und hat gedacht, das gar nicht höher. Und hat gedacht, ja, es geht gut, aber dann auf der Zielgerade bin ich explodiert und habe wie froh gewesen, habe ich so ins Ziel gebracht.
Jonas Baumann habe ich vorher gehört, der hat gesagt, also ganz sicher bin ich nicht mehr nach meiner Ablösung, dass wir es noch schaffen. Du hast, glaube ich, eher daran zweifelt, dass das noch klappt.